Hello, K-12 curriculum leaders. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you some strategies for teaching and learning in the 21st century. First of all, what is a 21st century instructional strategy and what makes it so different from those in the 20th century? Well, that's what I'm hoping that you'll take out of this video and our discussions in class. But if I'm moving too quickly through the video, please feel free to pause or rewind if you need some more time with the concept. So let's start with the foundation of our educational program with regard to 21st century teaching strategy. As any school mission will tell you, our goal as educators is to provide the best possible education to prepare our students to be successful in their futures. But as we know, today is much different than even a generation ago, and education will continue to evolve in the 21st century. So first and foremost, we need to start with our students. As Tony Wagner described in our TEDx video that we watched, students will need skill and innovation over knowledge because information is so easily accessible in our world today. The Alliance for Excellence in Education reiterates this as it describes the 3 R's of content, but also identifies 4 C's: critical thinking and problem solving, communication, collaboration, and creativity and innovation. And these support Wagner's proposal. Also, the Partnership for 21st Century Skills is an organization that has a framework pictured on the bottom here that advocates for 21st century readiness for every student. Their framework identifies in red the life and career skills, the learning and innovation skills, and information, media, and technology skills that will prepare our students to be successful. And these skills need to be on the forefront of our considerations as we plan instructional strategies for the 21st century. However, there is definitely plenty of enduring truths from the past theories of education. And the point of this presentation is definitely not to discredit past or current educational practices, especially those that are effective. Instead, as we're preparing our students to be successful in the 21st century, we need to incorporate some critical components to enhance those already in place. And again, student learning and enduring teaching strategies compose this foundation of 21st century education. But the first 21st century shift that we need to consider is collaboration. Dufour and their professional learning communities, although they're not new, they popularized the shift from isolation to collaboration in schools. The Dufours and their colleagues have outlined significant culture shifts for modern schools, including the shift from a teacher-centered classroom to a student-centered school. And as we collaborate, our focus again needs to be on students' learning and effectiveness, as those are the results we're trying to achieve. I found a great concept map from the Partnership for 21st Century Learning Skills that I'm sure Daniel will love because it's much more than a concept map. It's actually a concept metaphor with the bike there. But I'm going to move on, so feel free to pause if you'd like to take a peek at that. The next key component of 21st century education is differentiation. Essentially, this is the core of good teaching, as we're striving to meet the needs of all of our students. And out of this concept of differentiation has grown formative assessments. Formative assessments for learning as opposed to summative assessments from the past that were assessments of learning. These assessments help provide information to meet the needs individually of each of our students. And also out of this means is response to intervention. Our RTI was developed with this 21st century demand to meet the needs of all students, particularly in flexible and often in flexible grouping. I just want to reiterate, I can't say this enough, that at the center, the heart of my tree is everything needs to be student and learning centered. So I'm now going to go into some more, one more specific teaching tool for 21st century learning, and that's Mastery Connect. And then I'll tell you about an instructional strategy, flipping, that meet these guiding principles of collaboration and differentiation. Mastery Connect is an excellent tool. The link is right there on your screen that's going to enhance collaboration and enable differentiation in classrooms. I'm actually going to go to the site right now and give you a brief overview of the benefits and capabilities, but I strongly encourage you to create an account. It's free for most of the services, and if you do choose to go to the premium membership, it's well worth the price. So here's the Mastery Connect Mastery Learning site, and you can see Dufour was right there on the screen there as an advocate for this this program. And you can join, as you can see the link right here. Join and get started in 60 seconds. It's a quick, easy form, and then you can go ahead and log in. And I'll kind of give you a quick tour of some of the resources that that I use that I think are particularly. Once in the Mastery Connect site, there's tons of information to kind of sift through, but some key components are these tabs right up top. One of the components of 21st century education that I'm emphasizing is collaboration, and the learning community is a great resource for this. You can see there's 1,710 pages of people who have joined this Mastery Connect website to collaborate and share their resources for instruction. And one of the things that teachers can do in addition to chatting and sharing information and is a great tool on this site is the common assessments, this other tab right here. This common assessment tab is fantastic because all of the assessments are aligned with the Common Core. I'll just show you here a quick math lesson, although there's also language arts and social studies science. I can sort by Common Core, State Standards, Traditional for math, and I'm going to choose 6th grade because that's what I'm currently teaching. But then I can choose a specific standard. All the assessments that are currently loaded are for 6th grade, but let's say I want to do number systems standard 1. When I bring this standard up, there's tons of assessments, and some of them, frankly, are not very good, but the majority of them are very valuable. And if you're finding resources that you don't like, try this highest rated or peer-reviewed setting, and you'll see that there's a badge here that that partners on this learning community have rated these and reviewed these assessments to show that they are in fact good assessments. So here's just one quick example. I'm not going to evaluate it for you, but you can see there's just a dividing fractions, dividing mixed numbers, multiple choice form. You can actually download this and turn it into a Word document where you can change the numbers. I found this very valuable. If a student fails an assessment and I do some reteaching, I can give them a different form of the same assessment by just changing a couple of the numbers in Word instead of Microsoft Word, instead of recreating the wheel and creating an entirely new assessment. All of these resources are here, and if you're a K-12 teacher currently, I encourage you to hop on the website, go to this Common Assessments tab. All of these are free resources that have been submitted by teachers teaching the same thing as you for the Common Core, and check out some of the assessments based on the standards that you're teaching. The coolest thing for me about Mastery Connect is the ability to track. Here you can see I can add this to Tracker, and what that means is I can add to this Mastery Tracker tab. In the Mastery Tracker, you can upload all of your students in your classes and assess them, and it actually will track everything for you based on proficiency. I'm going to need to move to screen captures where I can redact names just for privacy of students and other teachers, but I'll show you some of the capabilities of this Mastery Connect Tracker. Here's what the tracker will look like once you've entered some assessments, and you can see that it's very easy to determine that 6 standard ratio and proportion standard 1. I have a few students that are remedial and need some extra support. For number systems 4, most of my students have it, and just a few need some tier 2 support. But I can also notice that student 2 is near mastery or remedial in every category and will definitely need some significant interventions at a tier 2 or potentially tier 3 level. As these are categorized by Common Core standards, I can go on up here and by moving my cursor over the standard, it'll tell me what the standard actually is and give me some choices here. Resources include some information about the standard as well as a link to a Khan Academy video to reteach the standard. You can break these into sub-standards as well. But then you can assess, and this is kind of like a grade book where you can keep assessments and keep track of where your kids are based on the Common Core, and like a normal gradebook, you can choose to enter scores, or there's a bubble score system that's really fantastic if you're doing multiple choice quick assessments, that you can just scan the assessments. It'll instantly grade them for you. I'll try to give you a quick demo a little bit later. But I can also go and sort my students based on mastery on a particular standard. So this is adding angles from 4th grade assessment. And I can sort and see that these 3 students are remedial, and instantly I know that that's the group that I need to target for the strongest intervention, although these kids in the middle also need some additional practice. I can take the same assessment and break down and do some item analysis. So I can see that question 2 here is everybody got the right answer. So that concept must have been pretty easy for them. Question 6, however, 7 students got it wrong, and that's concerning to me. So that might be a topic, a substandard that I need to make sure that I reteach. You can also see a graph of the data instantly. That's what's so cool about this, is just kind of sorting through this stuff and see where my kids are for number system standards. The number systems 4, pretty well mastered, some near mastery. Number systems 1, I need to continue doing some teaching there. And finally, a great RTI benefit, at least for my school, we have the opportunity to share students, and here I have 3 classes that taught the same standard and gave the same assessment, and you can see how they rated on a particular assessment. Because this data is so well distributed, there's not a lot that we can take out of this other than it seems like a good chunk of the students are getting it. But a lot of times you'll see that one particular teacher is all green, or all green and just a little bit of yellow. And that would tell me that that teacher did a pretty good job of teaching that standard. So when we break into flexible groups for RTI, I'm going to want to move my students, my students that are struggling, to that teacher to get that extra support. And then finally, I'm just going to show you this bubble score. Using the webcam on most laptops, or you can use an iPad, a document camera, any of the above, and you can hold up the assessment in a bubble score like a standardized test, and the webcam will scan it and instantly grade it for you. It's a great tool to make things more efficient grading for teachers, but it's also very valuable because students taking an assessment can bring it up to the bubble score themselves and get instant feedback how well they did and what questions they need to refocus on. So that's just a quick overview of Mastery Connect, and I'm going to go into an instructional strategy for the 21st century that also helps me with differentiation, and that is flipping. And essentially what flipping is it's doing the class lecture at home and the homework in class, flipping that traditional model of a classroom where there's direct instruction and then send problems for home. For me, the concept is, what's the most valuable use of my time with students? A couple science teachers in Colorado started this model about a decade ago, and now data is pouring out in support of the effectiveness of flipping if it's done correctly. It's a great tool that encourages teachers to utilize outside of the classroom resources in order to make the limited time we have with students the most effective. There's many positives, but also some significant concerns. So if you don't mind, please take a little bit of time to reflect on flipping and come up with some pros and cons that you can think of that we can discuss in class. But in the end, the results of implementing these 21st century instructional strategies and based on collaboration and differentiation is student learning, which is the end goal in all cases. For Monday, if I could get you to come up with a couple of questions for Mastery Connect that you may have come up with that I can help you out with. And also, again, think about flipping and if there are some pros and cons that you can consider for us to discuss. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thank you.